Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say hello to everybody and introduce myself. I'm Doug Boyle. I'm the accounting department chair here in the Kania School of Management at the University of Scranton. I'm also an associate professor, and I'm going to be the one administering this program. So I'm really honored to be involved in this. I want to welcome everybody and thank you for being here. 10 o'clock in the middle of the day isn't hard to get, is difficult to get people out because I know everybody's very busy. So we really, really appreciate having you here and getting your time. With that, I just want to announce the program, let you know that we're really excited about this program in the School of Management. I know Dean Mentz is going to talk a little bit later on, but our community is part of our mission here at the University of Scranton, and it always has been. So this program is really geared towards helping not-for-profits be successful. And the University of Scranton is not-for-profit, right? And I know Bill Conboy is going to speak, and Allied is, and there's big not-for-profits, and there's small ones, and there's startups. So the purpose of this program is really to support all not-for-profits, because some might have more resources than others, some might have different levels of sophistication than others. So if we could kind of raise the bar for everybody and develop anybody, that community outcomes are going to be tremendous. So that's why I'm personally so excited. I'd like to introduce our advisory board, because when we started this project, we had no problems at all getting the outstanding people involved. So we're really pleased with that. So first of all, Kurt Bauman. I know Kurt's up front. Kurt's the director of Northeast Pennsylvania Not-for-Profit and Community Assistance Center, and Kurt brought a lot of great ideas and energy to the team. William Conboy, he's the president and CEO of Allied Services Integrated Healthcare System, and Bill probably runs arguably one of the most effective and efficient not-for-profits in our region. So to have Bill involved is tremendous. We have Laura Duchessi. And Laura is the president and CEO of the Scranton Area Foundation and administrator of the Northeast PA Healthcare Foundation. So it's critical to have her insights into the community. She sees all types of not-for-profits. Robert Kelly, where's Robert at? Robert's in the back. Really, I want to give a special thanks to Robert. He's a partner at Myers, Breyer, and Kelly. And it was originally his idea that he brought to Mike and I. And this was in the infancy stages. So Robert, thank you so much for doing that, because you're involved in the community and you see the need. So I want to give him full credit for being, the original innovator. On the faculty side, we have Dr. Dan Mahoney, who's in the accounting department, and Dan has a lot of experience with not-for-profit boards. He serves on some, very involved in the community. Dr. Robert McCage, who isn't here today, he's the director of our business leadership program, and he's going to be a teacher in the program as well. Dr. Michael Mensa, our dean, who'll speak in a minute. Michael is always supportive of the community. And when it comes to Michael, kind of the brand he has on campus is students, community, mission. And for a business school to truly do those things well, I give a lot of tribute to Michael and the faculty here. Appreciate that. We have Latia Smith, who's the president and CEO of the Moses Taylor Foundation, our most recent addition. So we welcome her with all of her knowledge and expertise. We have Dan West, who's the department chair and professor in the Peninsula College, also here at the University of Scranton. Dan also serves on a lot of not-for-profits, particularly in healthcare. He's a healthcare expert. So we couldn't have put together a better advisory board. So I just want to take a second, if we could give them a round of applause, because I know they're all modest people. Thank you so much for your help and effort. I think what's going to make this program very unique is it's very academically rigorous, but also we have the experts in. And my background is I came from practice before I came into academia. And whenever you can marry what's really happening in the real world and deal with real world needs and use academic rigor to do it, I think we have a complete win. And that's what we've done here. A couple of other quick comments before I get on to a couple other speakers. Really, the best way to describe the program is to read the mission. And I want to read the mission to you because it kind of says it all. The mission of the program is to support and advance nonprofit organizations through a comprehensive and academically rigorous leadership program. The program is focused on providing high potential leaders with the knowledge and insight required to enable their not-for-profit organizations to achieve and sustain their missions and ensure positive community outcomes. So we're going to have to measure these community outcomes, and we're all about measuring and assessment here in the business school. So we're going to track the impact of this leadership program, and we're confident we'll have many, many positive outcomes in the community. Just some of the big themes, a little more detail. And by the way, when you walked in, everybody got a brochure. So what I'm talking about is in here, but I just want to highlight some things. It's going to be 8 sessions. They're going to be alternating Fridays during the spring term. And the first session is going to be on the big picture. So we're going to talk about, like, why do not-for-profits exist? What's the community need? How do we assess that? How do we come up with a strategy? How do we really understand the more strategic issues in not-for-profits? Then we have a module on leadership, management, and governance. Those who work in the not-for-profit world, lots of governance issues, right? We have to be aware of those. Then we have a marketing, funding, grants, and public relations session. We're actually going to have 2 sessions on that. So how do we brand ourselves? How do we market? How do we get access to grants? How do we grow and sustain our mission within the community? Then we're going to have 2 sessions on financial reporting, management, and legal requirements. Again, more and more scrutiny for not-for-profits, which is good. We want to be transparent. And then lastly, we're going to be focused on the individual on their own personal sustainability and growth. Because we want this program to develop the next leaders in not-for-profits. Because as we talked about in the advisory committee, probably the biggest concern came up is who's going to lead these organizations in the future. So we're building that pipeline, we're developing that pipeline, so we're planting a lot of seeds. The capstone for the course is going to be, program is going to be really unique because we're going to have the participants pick a real world issue or opportunity their organization's facing, and we're going to try to solve it. So they're going to walk out of the program not with just a certificate and knowledge, but hopefully they'll come out with a project plan to say the organization I work in is worried about this, or they have this opportunity. Here's the specific actions and steps we're going to take. Perhaps most important thing about the program, which I really enjoy, is there's going to be one-on-one mentoring with the participants. So between our advisors and others, we're going to meet with these individuals and mentor them and make sure they're networked properly within our community here to advance their careers. And that's very important and attractive. It's going to be starting on alternating Fridays, starting on February 10th, so we're going to have a rapid kickoff. Applicants are going to need to have a sponsor from their organization because we want to make sure the organization is serious and they're going to support them through this journey. The brochure tells you about the website, so please, there's much more information there. But I'll just conclude by saying, yeah, I think the breadth and depth of our advisory team makes me completely confident this is going to be a tremendous success. So again, thank you all for participating. And with that, we're going to have a couple of very brief speakers talk about the impact of this within the community and the impact on the University of Scranton. So I'm going to turn it over to Dean Mensa, who'll make a couple comments, and then we'll follow up with Bill Conboy after that. Okay, so Dean Mensa, thank you.
Thank you, Doug, and welcome everybody. Good morning again, if I haven't already met you. I just want to make 2 brief comments. One about the significance of the program to us at the university, and the other kind of a promise to you about how we're going to work to sustain this program and make it a permanent part of this community. Okay. So if you look at the university's efforts in recent years, you will see that there's been several programs that are targeted at our local economy in terms of improving the economy as well as the lives of people in our region. Okay, this is both at the university level and at the Kenyan school level. In the Kenyan school, we actually have a vision that we will be the leading source of academic knowledge for economic development in our region. So you look at all these mission-related concepts, and then you look at the program we are proposing today, you find that the fit is almost 100%. Okay, the program is going to support organizations that exist to improve people's lives. And what we're going to do is try to empower these programs in terms of the development of their personnel. So for us, this is very important. This is very significant in terms of mission. And of course, the cooperation of the community has been very, very significant in this process also. In terms of how we sustain this, I've already had discussions with the leaders of the university about this program, the provost. I have sent messages to the president about this program. The message I get back is that this is exactly what they want. They want to sustain it, they want to support it, they want to work with us on this. So from my point of view, I believe the prospects for this program becoming a permanent part of our community are very, very high. Okay. So I just want to, conclude by thanking Mr. Kelly, who invited me to a meeting sometime last year and proposed this program with Doug present, and all the community people who've worked so hard with our faculty, especially Doug, to bring us to this point. I believe this is a big addition to the Kenyan school and the university. I happen to be a dean who values accreditation very much. Everybody here knows that, right? So we have an accreditation program here that requires us to have an impact on our community. Okay, we want to do this in our own mission, but our accreditation program requires us to have an impact and to demonstrate it every year. This is a major program in that respect. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Boyle and Dean Mensa, thank you very much for having all of us here today and everyone else affiliated with the University of Scranton. I'd like to first say that I'm a very proud graduate, 1980, of the University of Scranton. And so I'm very, very pleased to be here as a former student and to see how much the University of Scranton has grown and how much they mean to this community. So, and Doug, you used the word that I just want to briefly talk about this morning, and you said mentoring. And I think about that so often, and Rob Kelly, I'm sure you would agree with me. My dad is a judge here in town, and I know when I started as a young lawyer here in town, he told me how years ago young lawyers had preceptors. And when you came out of law school, you didn't start practicing. You actually spent a few years with a preceptor who taught you what it meant to practice law. And he taught you the skills that you need every day to be a successful lawyer. And I think about that often now these days as a CEO of a not-for-profit myself. Bill Shane, I see out here in the audience. Bill and I taught in the graduate program here years ago when the MHA program first started. Dr. Dan West asked us to be part of that program. And we actually taught a class that is going to be one of the topics in this program about board governance. And that was in the master's level program, and it always struck me when Bill and I would go down, and I was general counsel at Allied at the time, and one of the first questions I would ask these graduate students, young professionals, some of them older professionals in business, I would ask them two questions. What does it mean to be a not-for-profit? And who owns a not-for-profit? And I would respectfully submit, Bill, you might recall, no one had any idea what the answer to either of those questions were. There's a perception in the community when people hear that you're a not-for-profit, like Allied Services, who happens to have 3,500 employees doing business in 28 counties around the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, having a $100 million payroll, et cetera, that as a not-for-profit, you're not worried about running a business like a business. Well, nothing could be further from the truth, particularly these days. Dr. Boyle knows, he's one of our board members at Allied Services. It's something we talk about all the time. Now more than ever in this country, not-for-profits need to look at running their operations like a regular business would, with a couple exceptions. We need to be committed to our mission, which is different than a for-profit business. And we need to be committed to our commitment to the community. Because when I asked the question years ago, and Bill, you'll recall, who owns a not-for-profit, I'm not sure if people in this room, many would be aware, who owns a not-for-profit? The community does. That's why we have a board of directors made up of community volunteers from all walks of life. They help us oversee our mission and help us run our business. But every day as a not-for-profit, just like somebody running a small widget operation, we need to be worried about revenue and expenses and investments and equipment and technology and personnel and quality, all those other concerns that a for-profit business has. We have the same ones. And when you're asked that question as a CEO, that $64,000 question, or that question, what keeps you up at night? To me, my biggest concern is future leadership in not-for-profits, and particularly at Allied Services. I feel very blessed that we see some really good future leaders coming along. And I welcome the opportunity to enroll them in this program. We have several of our young people with MBAs and MHAs, et cetera, from the University of Scranton and other great schools. But for them to have an opportunity now to come here and be mentored by people like Rob Kelly and others in this program is, I'm not aware of another program like that. And to have that here in this great community, I think is just outstanding. So I'm thrilled with the program. I'm really honored to be part of it. And I can't wait for it to get started. So thank you all very much.
Hello, my name is Laura Duchessi, and like William Conboy, I'm also very pleased to be on the advisory board and a proud graduate of the University of Scranton, 1998. I want to commend the leaders of the Kania School of Management as well as the University of Scranton for their vision, diligence, and collaboration in putting this critical certificate program together. As the CEO of the Scranton Area Foundation, I run a community foundation of Lackawanna County that has 62 years of engaging with the nonprofits in our community, and our core goal is really knowing the needs and the challenges that the nonprofit community face. Through convening, through funding, through basically advising philanthropists on philanthropic needs in the community, nothing stands more prominent than the need to invest in the leadership of nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit leaders drive social change, so investing in social change means investing in nonprofit leadership. So through my work, I see how nonprofit organizations are the drivers of social good in our community, from education and health care to services for the elderly, veterans, children, and the environment. And it's really an understatement to say that nonprofit executives wear many hats. They're required to juggle the role of being visionaries, strategists, fundraisers, operational directors in many cases. And through this role, the nonprofit leader is the direct impact on the quality of life in the community. The quality of that leader directly impacts the quality of life in their community. But yet the nonprofit sector has really traditionally suffered from a lack of investment in leadership development, contrary to what we're seeing in the for-profit community, where the vast array of resources are put towards development of nonprofit executives. The majority of nonprofit leaders, according to research, feel that their nonprofit, 66%, are not highly effective in developing a pipeline of leaders. And the most pressing question that keeps not only nonprofit executives but boards up at night is succession planning and what's going to be the next step to carry on the vision of their nonprofit's mission over the next several years. So these are the development challenges that are facing our nonprofits, not only nationally, but regionally, and we all see that. So there's an assumption nationally and regionally that nonprofit directors will rise up simply from experience, and they don't need the coaching, the development, the mentorship to get there, and we're learning that that is completely untrue. And the need for nonprofit leadership development is as high as ever. So this certificate program, in my opinion, for my engagement with the community, is so well-timed and well-positioned to help fill that leadership gap. At the foundation, we really have a renewed focus on capacity building, organizational and individual. Really tying the development of leadership is critical to make sure that our funding that we supply to nonprofits is used efficiently and effectively for our community. So in my opinion, this program is a key component in basically ensuring the success and viability of the nonprofit organizations in our community. It places the Kania School and the University of Scranton as a key community partner in that strategy, and basically in supporting the nonprofit organizations and their role in the societal fabric of our community. So again, I really want to congratulate the Kania School and the University of Scranton for taking this important step.
Okay, Okay, so next steps are, we're going to take the brochures you have, and we're going to circulate them within the community. Our website is up, and the address is on the brochure, so please, if you want brochures, let Laura know. Where's Laura? Is she in here somewhere? Laura we have enough for everybody, so if you want to take some with you, we can take some with you. Please go on the website, and like I said, we've got a spring start, so it's right around the corner. Thank you again so much for showing up today, and please hang out to answer any questions, and nobody ate any of the Danishes. What's going on? They're really good, so thank you very much. Hang out for a little bit.